This is Fieldsports Channel News. The UK's Department for the Environment is heading for a perfect storm at the end of February. DEFRA faces the twin challenges of renewing the general licences or not renewing them, and deciding the future of wild animal products from trophy heads to antler buttons. Farmers fear chaos as animal rights activists threaten to renew their general licence legal challenge. Last year, thousands of farmers complained when Chris Packham's legal challenge meant they couldn't shoot pigeons and crows for weeks. After a painstaking process, the licences were renewed, but expire at the end of Feb. Basque is asking Secretary of State Teresa Villiers for an extension to this year's licences, which are due to expire on the 29th of February. Meanwhile, a government source tells the Daily Mirror that the trophy hunting consultation, which has just been extended for a month until the end of February, is a sham, and DEFRA Minister and friend of Boris Johnson, Zach Goldsmith, will push through a ban, whatever it says. The British Shooting Show is just a few weeks away. The show at the NEC in Birmingham attracts tens of thousands of shooters and other field sports enthusiasts. Show dates are the 14th, 15th and 16th of February 2020, and the show opens from 9 until 4:30 p.m. on all 3 days. Car parking is free at the NEC for all British Shooting Show visitors, and all accompanied children ages 15 and under visit free of charge. There's a link in the description below to the ticketing website. We'll be there with all the usual suspects on stand C12. A woman from Yorkshire has launched a pheasant ready meal range. Sophie Bagley makes visits to shoots all over the county to pick up birds. She plucks more than 100 pheasants a day, which she turns into hundreds of cottage pies and lasagnas every week. A video featuring a top wildlife police officer and an anti-hunting activist has sent tempers soaring. Chief Inspector Hubble, who received an OBE for her work battling wildlife crime, appears alongside Wild Justice's Dr. Ruth Tingay, rapping to a tiny temper track outside the House of Commons. The Countryside Alliance issued a formal complaint saying the video recorded by the duo shows blatant disregard for issues facing rural areas, and that Hubble, as boss of the National Wildlife Crime Unit, should not take sides with conservation campaigners. Mark Avery, a fellow Wild Justice patron, jumped to Tingay and Hubble's defence, saying it was just a joke, and the Countryside Alliance's criticism of the police officer is nasty. SABs are targeting hounds as one of their tactics to disrupt hunts. Gary Thorpe, huntsman of the East Essex Hunt, captured this footage showing antis targeting his hound pack with an unknown substance in spray bottles, and later using horn calls and recordings of hounds to draw the pack towards a main road. The footage has been given to local police. Viewers are urged to sign the petition on your screens now calling for a change to the trespass law. A SAB group on Twitter are launching a harassment campaign against those people who hunt. The Mendip Hunt SAB group say they will post images and names of people who hunt as part of a new series. If you see content online harassing or threatening members of the Fieldsports community, you can report it by calling 101 or using the link on the screen below. African swine fever has jumped a step closer to the German border. An infected wild boar found in Poland's Lausitza forest shows ASF has moved within 12 kilometres of the border with Saxony and 21 kilometres of the border with Brandenburg. The German Environment Agency says the threat remains a concern. Experts believe a new breeding programme could save the endangered Scottish wildcat from extinction. As one of the world's rarest breeds of cat, they are 70 times more endangered than the giant panda. The Scottish Government and other agencies have spent millions trying to produce genetically pure Scottish wildcats, but announced they have failed. Last year, the International Union for Conservation of Nature said the Scottish wildcat was on the verge of becoming genetically extinct because of persecution and interbreeding. Now, conservationists believe that importing wildcats from other European countries could give the Scottish breed a viable future in the wild. Target pistol shooting is flourishing in the UK. Last week saw the final of the British Shooting Schools Pistol Championships at Stoke Mandeville Stadium. More than 600 shooters from 350 schools across Britain competed in regional qualifiers during the 2019-2020 season. Gold medals went to Amber Pern from Howell School in Llandaff, Lucinda Evans from the Chantry and Lucy Evans from the Forest Academy. Team golds went to Howell School in Llandaff, Ellesmere College and Woking High School. Paralympic pistol shooting star Izzy Bailey was there to watch the event and announce the winners. Izzy was at the Rio Paralympics in 2016 and has won a quota place for 2020 this summer in Tokyo, where she'll be shooting 10-metre and 25-metre sporting pistol.
I think it'll be a really different experience to Rio. Rio was my first game, so it'll obviously have that sort of special memory for me. But Tokyo, competing in more events, I'm taking it more seriously. And from what I've heard from the people that have visited the venue already, it's looking like it's going to be a great place to compete.
Tasmania's new Premier has bowed to pressure to ban bow hunting in Tasmania. Newly elected Peter Gutwin rushed through legislation after images appeared of a wallaby struck by what appears to be an arrow. Bow hunting was already heavily restricted in the country, with only rabbits, hares, wild goats and feral cats allowed to be taken with a bow. Now, anyone that bow hunts in Tasmania will be prosecuted for cruelty to animals. Pro hunters point out that less ethical methods of wildlife management, such as laying of poison and the use of bolt guns, are, however, still legal. Thanks to Rod Byfield for the story. When the Swedish government allowed a Sami village to take control of some local wildlife management, the villagers received death threats from antis. Following a 30-year battle, the government has said that the village should be allowed to manage and hunt its own small game. The village has the support of Sami artist Sofia Janok, who has organised a campaign online. Thanks to Per Holmseth for sending in the story. How much respect should a chef show a duck? An Italian chef is accusing the head chef of the award-winning restaurant Noma of disrespecting mallards. Pietro Lehmann, owner of Europe's first vegetarian restaurant, pens an open letter to René Redzepi, accusing him of going too far with his mallard meal. The duck dish from the Game and Forest season of Noma features the brain served out of the duck's skull, and its beak used a vessel for the heart tartare. Initiatives across the country are introducing high school students to cooking game meat. Thirst School and Sixth Form College took delivery of these pheasants as part of a cookery and butchery class. Meanwhile, Speyside Moorland Group donated game meat from their shoot to Kinusi High School in the Cairngorms to help pupils understand how to prepare game that's delivered fresh from the field. A North Yorkshire shoot is raising money for charity. A community in Sherborne has raised just under £1,000 for the Pulmonary Hypertension Association. Following the death of Brian Toes, shooting friends, beaters and a wildlife photographer came together to hold a small farm shoot day to raise cash for the charity. The funds will be presented by Brian's wife, Liz, during a shoot this Friday. Sabs got a soaking after trespassing on private land. In a lengthy video exchange, antis followed and harassed the mounted hunting party in this video before being asked to return to the public bridle path, which involved a little river crossing. Not sure we'll be seeing the Sab video version of this anytime soon. Cheetahs are to be reintroduced into the wild in India. This is the first time India will have the cats since the species was declared extinct there almost 70 years ago. There are only 7,100 cheetahs left in the wild globally, and the animal is classed as critically endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Following a Supreme Court ruling, the Indian authorities will now identify suitable habitats for the animal, analysing potential prey and the possibility of human-animal conflict. They will bring the cheetahs from Namibia, a pro-hunting country where cheetahs are doing well. An American found an unusual swimmer in his pool. Officer Flannery from the police department at Lexington, Kentucky, helped the homeowner haul an exhausted deer out of a swimming pool. The officer was called to the rescue of the animal, which wobbled for a second or two before bounding off into the surrounding woods. And finally, people in rural Florida are feasting on iguanas and making some money too. A cold snap has left the reptiles falling catatonic from trees. Locals have been picking up the iguanas, dispatching them and turning them into lizard curries, gumbos and soups. The meat from the invasive species sells for $60 a pound. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.